best show of our lives. Lauren, Harold Reynolds.
Woo, woo. Stove.
All right.
Roll.
It's the beginning of a new day.
And we do have a lot of fun.
It's the best show in the building.
Thank you, America. You know, our friend J.P. Morosi, a frequent contributor, though he is off today, we all marvel at his multilingual abilities.
True.
And if you want to kind of get in your own little J.P. multilingual thing, we have a J.P. Morosi pull string doll where you pull the string on his back and he will speak in multiple languages. This is what it would sound like if you buy one for $29.99.
Nous sommes prêts à parler baseball.
You can learn all kinds of languages with that little J.P. Morosi toy.
Adios.
That was only last year, and I've completely forgotten about that
sold
bit.
over 1,000 of those dolls.
Did they?
Unbelievable.
I'm so honored. I'm so
JP.
honored. By the way, that's the first time I've ever seen that listing. Very on brand. I'll probably send this to my family and say, hey, guys, you want to buy this? Support the network? They'll say, nah, we got enough of the real thing. I think we're all set.
I get that. A little too close to home. Got it. JP rejoining us on a Monday with some of his thoughts. And I guess now that we have the contractual details per Ken Rosenthal on Sonny Gray's 3-year deal to St. Louis, give us your thoughts.
Well, I think overall, first and foremost, the Cardinals have done a very good job of addressing their foremost need. They had to get this rotation into a more competent position and able to compete now against the rest of the National League Central, and they've done that. The key thing, though, I would mention here as well, is they finished 21 games out last year. So this is not the end of their offseason. This is the end of the beginning, but this is not the full roster complete as it is. I think they have to address their bullpen. Let's not forget, they also moved Jordan Hicks at the deadline. He is now a free agent. They like Helsley and Gallegos, but they still need some help there for the rest of that bullpen. And now the position player group, I still think needs some work. I'm also really intrigued to see what kind of role they have for Mason Wind, one of the top young talents in Major League Baseball. I think he's got a chance to be one of the top rookies in the sport in 2024. Let's see how the rest of the position player group now comes into focus for the St. Louis Cardinals.
We also want to get further thoughts from you on the trade we heard over the weekend. Eugenio Suárez headed to the desert, the final year of a 7-year, $66 million contract. He had 2 big home run years in the Pacific Northwest, also led the American League in strikeouts in each of those seasons.
Yes, I like it for really both teams involved, and Harold referenced this earlier on. The way that Suárez, I believe, complements the young core of players that the Diamondbacks have, I think he's going to be able to continue and build on what Evan Longoria gave them at third base this past season. There are, I think when you look at this Diamondbacks lineup, there are enough players who work at bats and who draw walks as Carroll can do. I think Ketel Marte gives you a great at bat, to where I think Suárez and what he provides for you, yes, a high strikeout rate, but the home run power, I think, really complements well what the Diamondbacks have already built. Of course, we know Lourdes Gurriel Jr., a free agent right now, so I do think Suárez approximates a lot of what Gurriel had given them, and we have to certainly wait and see where Gurriel goes. From the standpoint of the Mariners, I'll give you one name to watch on the free agent market who now I think is a tremendous fit for them now that they got some at-bats to potentially move around at third base. Justin Turner. We've talked with the Mariners about how they really want to add in some more patience, a really good knowledge of the strike zone. Justin Turner, a free agent. Maybe he's a third baseman. Maybe he's a first baseman. He could fit in at DH as well. Justin Turner and the Mariners, an excellent fit now with Suárez having moved on.
I think Justin Turner's an excellent fit with a lot of places, actually. Had a really good year in Boston. Is there another player for whom the Suárez trade impacts his free agent candidacy?
Jeimer Candelario, Matt, I'm watching him very, very carefully. And again, he could potentially be a fit with the Mariners as well. Now that Suárez has moved on from there, his original team at the beginning of last season, the Nationals, they would like to have him back. it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Cubs still get involved in him because of where their interest is and what he brought to them. It's always a good sign as a free agent when your most recent teams have interest in you, and that is the case with Jeimer Candelario. I would also mention the Los Angeles Angels. If they're going to try to build up a roster that can compete with the other teams in their division, and maybe still, I'll make this point, maybe still have a little bit of a light still there to bring back Shohei Ohtani, signing Candelario would, I think, affirm for the industry the Angels' intentions to be a competitive team in 2024.
When your former employers all want you back, I heard Steve Phillips talking about that very same idea regarding Jordan Montgomery on the leadoff spot this morning on MLB Network Radio. Steve's going to join us later on in the program as well. Finally, before we let you go, has the market clarified at all in terms of teams interested in Rhys Hoskins since the Thanksgiving break, or is it still those same teams in play?
Matt, I do think that with Hoskins, we're starting to see a little more clarity on where he could go. I would mention the West Coast and the Seattle Mariners again. I linked them to Candelario and others. I do think they really want a bat of this caliber. I would also mention the Cubs. And finally, as we heard about Anthony Castrovince's ideas about the Blue Jays, if they were to move on from Vladdy, and even if they don't, Hoskins fits what the Blue Jays need. The Blue Jays, they've been able to get to the cusp of playoff success without actually getting there. And Hoskins has been one of the leaders on a team that got to the World Series. The Blue Jays, even if it's not Vladdy moving on, they need a DH, someone who's stable and steady. And I look for Hoskins to be a player that bounces back to that normal level of production that we saw for him with the Philadelphia Phillies. So it's a lot of the same teams, but I do believe the three leaders right now, the Mariners, the Cubs, and the Blue Jays.